Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone else around the world, welcome to the Tapology Lucky Bastard Game, 36th edition, third round draw. Last week we had 19 people left in it. This week we only have nine. So getting towards the serious end of this thing now. We're getting towards into the last 10. But we'll just remind ourselves who the lucky bastards going deep into the competition are. They are Baron von Rattus, Damien Handel 420, Foghorn Sam, Grahamon, Jordan and Pippin, the alliance between QQQ, and Spockling. The only alliance left in this game at this point. Mule Floyd, Spacey Fates, our debutant, who's doing very well so far. The Dirty UFC Man, and the Matchmaker. Okay, so they're the nine remaining lucky bastards, and for this week we've got UFC Fight Nights, Renato Moicano versus Chris Duncan in what is a very close main event, in my opinion. I've gone back and forth over this a few times. Uh, Personally, I'm going with Moicano, but just purely on the basis he's slightly more experienced and has fought higher level opposition than Duncan at this point in his career. Um, Chris Duncan, by the way, is one of the best British prospects. I'm being Scottish. I'm not sure how proud he'd be of me saying British rather than Scottish, but he is British. It's prospects coming out at the moment, and he's definitely he's going to be a problem as per his nickname in the lightweight division for a few years to come, I reckon. But I'm just starting to think, is this fight maybe just a little bit too soon for him in his UFC career? But it's a good test for him, very very good test, and it's one that he can win on his day, I reckon. Um, the main threat that Moicano poses, I'd say, is through his submission game, obviously, and but in recent fights, Chris Duncan's been showing that he's got a very good ground game as well. So it's a very intriguing matchup. I am still slightly favouring Moicano, despite the fact it's on the two-fight losing streak at the moment. But um, obviously one of them was Islam Makhachev, so obviously we can pretty much just discredit that one. Now it's a short notice title fight against arguably one of the best ever to do it, so you can kind of um, write that one off. But yeah, I'm going with Moicano for this one, but it's a very close fight, and whoever wins is not going to be an upset. It's going to be a great fight, that's for sure. Okay, so um, anyway, you're not here to listen to my picks. You're here to see who you're getting drawn with for tomorrow night. So first up, we have Baron von Rattus. Let's see who Baron von Rattus is going to be matched with. And he gets Robert Rutschhaler. Robert Rutschhaler there. Rutschhaler. I think I spelled that right. Rutschhaler. Not quite sure how you're meant to pronounce the accents in names like that. So apologies to Robert Machado for butchering your name there. He's up against Jose Delano, who again I'm hoping you pronounce the Jose part of it right. Um, I'd say slightly less experienced of the two, but and obviously not made his the best impression in the UFC so far. Lost his UFC debut last time out against William Gomez, but William Gomez isn't a bad loss to be fair, especially for your debut. So he can have a second chance, and had an incredible run in KSW, which is the top promotion in Poland. So I think, yeah, I think he just got off to very harsh match up in the UFC for his debut there. Um, Proven time and again he can go the distance if need be. In fact, that was actually his first loss over the distance last time against Gomez. So that is so when he does go 3 rounds, he usually gets the judges nod, or in some cases even 5 rounds, given he's a former champion at KSW. So there's um there's no doubt about this guy's stamina and his ability to go 3 rounds if need be. Jose Delano, on the other hand, slightly more experienced. Again, is even though this is his UFC debut, he's actually had more MMA fights overall, but came to prominence through the LFA. Although, to be honest, I'd probably rate KSW as slightly higher than the LFA, to be honest, in terms of promotion level. So I think Richardo's got the slight advantage in that aspect, and I think this is a pretty good pick actually. I think Baron and Ratus should be quite happy with this one. So definitely could have been worse picks uh, than uh, than Robert Richarla for Baron von Ratus. Okay, next we have Damien Handel 420. Let's see who Damien Handel 420 is going to be matched with. Yeah. And he's also get Robert's Richarla there. So that's Robert's Richarla there for Damien Handel. First, there we go. It's come up twice now. Um, so yeah, as I was just saying, obviously former KSW champion, and got off to a bit of a harsh debut, but in the UFC. But I can see him bouncing back from that loss to Gomez. So Jose Delano, again not the easiest matchup. I would say a slightly easier matchup than Gomez because Gomez has more fights in the UFC at that level, whereas Delano doesn't really. Because I suppose you can also make the argument here, though, that Delano, obviously making his own debut in the promotion, he's got a point to prove. He's going to be looking to show what he can do. That's put on his absolute best performance. So it's going to be so yeah. Richardo's going to be up against a very highly motivated opponent. There's no question about that, in my opinion. But like with as I like with Baron von Rattus, Robert Richardo, Damien Adel should be pretty happy with Robert Richardo there, in my opinion. So I think Will's been merciful for the first two. Let's see if we can be merciful for Foghorn Sam, who's next to learn his fate. Let's see what's the wheel got in store for Foghorn Sam. It's Tommy McMillan for Foghorn Sam. Let's get back onto this screen now. Tommy McMillan. Still undefeated. That's the main takeaway from Tommy McMillan. Obviously, well, there's two ways of reading that, really. Obviously, he'll have the confidence of an undefeated fighter who'll think is invincible, but having never tasted defeat before. But then I suppose you can also say that he's a bit too inexperienced. Maybe because he's still less than 10 fights in his career, being 9-0, and this is his UFC debut. He won his Contender Series fight, but this is the first time fighting somebody at this level. That's Having said that, it's Manolo Zacchini, his opponent, only a little bit more experienced. Has only got about five more fights on him, uh, by comparison. So again, still fairly early on in his career. The main danger he poses, though, is pure knockout artists. Most of his wins coming by knockout in the first round. Um, then you can also, with him, I suppose you can also say that, well, he's only had the one fight in the UFC, and that was when he lost his debut. He got knocked out by Morgan Charrier in the first round, so maybe he's not quite at this level. Maybe all those knockouts are only against regional level opponents, which um, and he might not be able to step it up and at the UFC level. That seems the case so far, based on one fight, but can't really draw too many conclusions from just that one fight, in my opinion. But all in all, I think it's Macmillan definitely looks to be the more well-rounded anyway, with more submission wins in his arsenal. So and he does have knockout power as well. He's more than happy to end a fight that way as well. Most of his finishes coming early as well, so it's going to be an explosive start to this fight. Um, but I fancy Macmillan for this. I think he'll get an early submission, in my opinion. So that's what I've gone for at the moment for Tommy Macmillan. So I think Foghorn Sam's going to be relatively safe with that pick. Okay, let's see who Grahamon is going to be paired with. Let's see what's the wheel got in store for Grahamon. And Azamat Bikoev for Grahamon. Azamat Bikoev. Again, apologies if I've not spelt that or pronounced that one right, but excuse me there. But up against Trayshawn Gore, massively outranks his opponent in terms of experience. Azamat Bikoev with a 20 win and 4 loss record compared to Trajan Gore's 5 win and 4 loss record. So it's a huge golf in experience between the two of them here. Uh, Obviously, I'd imagine that I haven't checked the odds, but you have to imagine that Bikoev would come in as a very heavy favourite for this one. Um, did lose his last fight against Yusri Belgarayev by knockout, but won a whole load in a row before that. So I'm sure he's got the strength to bounce back from that. With Trayson Gore, on the other hand, lost his last two in a row. Marco Tullio and Rodolfo Vieira. Um, but yeah, with Bikoev, I can't see this being anything other than an early finish, an early first round knockout. I just don't see Trayson Gore posing him too many threats at all, if I'm being completely honest. Um, I say I've gone with first round knockout. Could do it by submission. I think Bakoev does this however he wants, if I'm being completely honest. But I'm expecting a finish for him. So yeah, I'm expecting to see Graham and into the fourth round. I think overall, I think the wheels got off to a very soft start, very gentle start from the wheel so far. Okay, so Jordan and Pippin up next. The only alliance still standing in this game. Let's see who they're going to be paired with. No doubt they'll be hoping to get drawn with an American fighter. And they get Jose Delano. Jose Delano there for Jordan and Pippin. And, up against Robert Richarda. So already it looks like that's going to be our main event. 2v1 there. Baron von Rattus and Damien Handel 420, both on Robert Richarda up against Jose Delano. Um, and as I said, I do fancy Richarda for that one. I think he should be the favourite for it. So Jordan and Pippin on the slightly worse side of that draw, in my opinion. But it's a close enough fight that if Delano did win, that wouldn't be a massive upset. Um, I just think that Richarda's KSW experience is going to be crucial here. Um, yes, he had a disappointing start to his UFC career, but being a KSW champion does hold weight. Um, there's no escaping that. So yeah, I think it's and even though Delano, to be fair to him, he had a good run in the LFA, 6-1 there, but yeah, it's I still think it's Richarda should be the favourite for this based on his previous records and previous regional experience. So I think that our last alliance might be our last alliance standing at this point might be heading out of the competition here. Okay, let's see if it's any more favourable for Mule Floyd, who's next up. Let's see who Mule Floyd is going to be matched with. If we get it on the right screen, that is. And he gets Dakota Hope, hoping that Dakota Hope will be the one to bring a win for him, get him through into the prestigious fourth round, or hypothetical fourth round anyway. But won't have to wait long for it. Obviously, being the first fight on the cards against Kai Kamaka's third. Um, and in my opinion, he should be the favourite for this. Only a slight favourite because it's a very close fight. But I would say that just given his recent form, um, yeah, he's got to be the favourite coming into it. A good run of wins in Fury FC, LFA as well, and I rate them more than the ones that Kai Kamaka the third's coming off of. Um, Admittedly, Kai Kamaka the third is the more experienced of the two. Obviously, had a previous stint in the UFC, so he has fought at this level before. Although, truth be told, it didn't go very well. One win, two losses, and one draw in his last time in the UFC. But he's back, and again, I suppose as I was saying earlier, he's got a point to prove. Now that he's earned his spot back in the UFC, he's going to be trying to prove to everyone that he belongs in the UFC. Um, so I suppose on that note, again Dakota Hope going to be up against a very highly motivated fighter, but I think Dakota Hope should be all right. I think he'll be fine in this one. It's again he's making his UFC debut, so he'll be that motivation's going to be there for him as well. It works both ways. A lot at stake for both fighters in their respective careers. Thinking about it, but yeah, I think Mule Floyd should be all right with Hope. It's not the probably not the most secure one, but he's got knockout power. He's uh yeah, he can go the distance as well if he needs to. If Kamaka pushes him into deep waters into the third rounds, but I'm quietly confident in Mule Floyd's pick here. Okay, so let's see who Spacey Fate is going to be paired with. Spacey Fate are uh, debutant, of course, and it's doing very well so far, undefeated technically. Let's see if that continues. Two winning fighters in a row. Can he make it three in a row? And he gets Alice Pereira. Alice Pereira there for Spacey Fate. Okay. Obviously, the much more famous Pereira, but not the most. It's fighting Hayley Cohen in the women's bantamweight fight, and Cohen the more experienced of the two, but Pereira the better looking prospect on paper. It's again a close fight. I do slightly fancy Cohen for this one, if I'm being honest. Again, simply based on experience, but it's very hard to split the two so far. Um, Pereira had her first loss last time out, a very close split decision. So it's not as if it's a really bad loss in any way, but it's you do wonder psychologically how that's going to affect her. Will she be able to bounce back from that, get back to her old form? I suppose on paper anyway, Cohen looks like the ideal opponent for that, having lost her last two as well. But I say I've gone back and forth a few times on it, but overall, I think Alice Pereira might need Space Invader's going to need a little bit of luck here, but I think definitely could have been worse. It's just in a close fight here, in a 50-50 one. Uh, so yeah, Spacey Fate just have to hang tight and see how this one plays out. But again, I don't think anyone here has really got any horrible ones so far. There's not any. Every single fighter that's come up so far has a decent chance of winning their fight, in my opinion. Okay, so now getting towards the end of it now, just two more to go through. The penultimate one being the Dirty UFC Man. Let's see who the Dirty UFC Man is going to be rooting for in tomorrow's action. And he gets Dione Barboza. Dione Barboza for the Dirty UFC Man. Uh, Again, won't have to wait too long. The second fight on the card, up against Melissa Gatto. Um, and again, it's a very close fight. And I think the women's fights, they do tend to be the matchmaking on them tends to be a bit better than a lot of the men's fights, if I'm being honest. In terms of close matchmaking, it seems that a lot of the time, if a male fighter comes into the UFC, particularly if they're a hot prospects, a new toy that the UFC want to show off, they'll give them a very favourable matchup. But the women, it seems as they force the best against, they force the similarly ranked ones against each other very early on, which is the way matchmaking should be done, in my opinion. Um, got to make these close fights. Um, but yeah, not much to split these two ladies anyway. It's as I still haven't quite made my mind up who I'm backing for this one. Probably Barbosa, but haven't had time to go through and do detailed UFC picks just yet. But Barbosa's my off the top of my head pick for this fight. Obviously, we've seen before very good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game on her, and very good got good cardio to go the distance, even if most of her losses have also been over the distance as well. But she has the cardio to go there, and in my opinion, has earned her place in the UFC. Even as 2-2 in the UFC, she's earned her place in the promotion. Uh, so I think she'll definitely hold her own against Gatto at least. I can't see the fighter finishing the other here. Um, So I'd say I'd go with Barbosa for a decision win here. But yeah, I'd say very little to split the two of them. Melissa Gatto as well, very similar in terms of where she's at in her career. New to the UFC as herself, but still relatively for 5 fights in. Similar records, what I meant to say rather than new. But again, I'd say Barbosa just in terms of the skill level we've seen from her. Just I rate her ground game a little bit better than I do Gatto's. So Barbosa for a very close decision, in my opinion, for the dirty UFC man. So I think, yeah, that sort of continues the trend of everyone having a very decent chance in this game, in this round. Let's see if that continues for our last one, the matchmaker. The matchmaker is last up, and hopefully we won't get drawn with any massive underdogs or anything. He gets Stuart Nicole for the matchmaker. Stuart Nicole. We're spelling that. Nicole, just double. Oh, no E on the end. No, just double L. There we go. Um, I've, I'm off the top of my head picking this one. I have gone with his opponent, Alessandro Costa. If I'm being honest, uh, I do. When it comes to my picks, I do tend to favour uh, experience, especially given that the UFC tends to go in for a lot of fighters to make up the UFC these days. Are fighters fairly early on in their careers. They seem to have moved away a bit from the days of the veteran fighters hanging around, filling out the undercards. But yeah, Costa um, should be should be the favourite here. So Nicole probably the biggest underdog we've got drawn in the game. Definitely could have been worse, but the matchmaker definitely going to be needing a bit of luck here if he is going to get into the fourth round. Um, I mean, Nicole's not a bad fighter, very well rounded. He's got a very exciting fighter as well, because most of his fights end fairly early, and he can do it by submission or knockout. Um, it's just Costa, in my opinion, just at a slightly higher level in his career at this point in time. Just and I suppose a bit of it's bias as well. I've seen more of Costa than I have of Nicole, so basing it off of memory and some very vague, sketchy notes, it's I've scribbled out quickly. It does seem uh I say it does seem that he should be the favourites um for this one. Uh, how it ends, it definitely ends early because again, Costas very much looks to finish fights when the opportunity presents itself, probably by submission, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's the sort of thing I could probably see it actually being the kind of they do keep it standing. They both trade blows for a bit, and then one goes down and gets finished with ground punches. So that'd be uh, rather than a grappling heavy affair. But both fighters capable of either kind of fight playing out. So we'll see. But I think the matchmaker is probably the only one here that's got a really got one of those fighters you think, yeah, I'd definitely rather have had his opponent in that. Okay, so that concludes the third round draw for the 36th edition of Tapology Lucky Bastard Game. We'll just run through those one more time. We have Baron von Rattus with Robert Ruchala, Damien Andel 420 with Robert Ruchala as well, Foghorn Sam with Tommy McMillan, Grahamon with Azamat Bakoev, Jordan and Pippin with Jose Delano, Mule Floyd with Dakota Hope, Spacey Fate with Alice Pereira, the Dirty UFC Man with Dione Barbosa, and the Matchmaker with Stuart Nicole. So yeah, I think it's a very intriguing round we've got here. I think pretty much everyone has a very good, not a very good chance, but a reasonable chance of getting through. There's not any massive favourites or any massive underdogs besides whoever it was that's that um who was it? Uh the co-host that's Graham the only one I'm saying is definitely through um for this one, but all the others they've got either a moderate chance or at least thrown into a somewhat 50-50 fights for the most part. So I'm assuming just by law of averages, we'll see about half and half go out here, but we'll just have to wait and see. If all that leaves me to say is best of luck to everyone in this game. If you got bets on this card, good luck with those, and good luck with your picks in general. And until next week, so long for now.